In a serene village surrounded by emerald hills and a gently flowing river, there lived a young musician named Karan. He was known far and wide for his mastery of the vener, an ancient string instrument said to carry the voice of the gods. From the moment he first touched the vener, his talent was evident. His fingers moved across the strings like magic, creating melodies so beautiful they seemed to connect heaven and earth. The villagers adored him. They were captivated by the music that poured from Karan's soul. It wasn't just entertainment, it was an experience, a moment of transcendence that could melt even the hardest hearts. Yet despite the admiration and applause, Karan felt something was missing. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of gold and crimson, he sat by the river with his vener. The melody he played felt familiar, yet a thought crept into his mind. To become better, I must push myself harder. The secret to perfection must lie in the tension of the strings. Determined, Karan tightened the strings of his vener as much as he could. He believed that sharper notes would lead to richer, more powerful music. But when he plucked the first string, it snapped with a harsh twang. He tried another, and it too broke under the strain. By the time the stars dotted the night sky, his beloved vener lay silent, its strings broken and useless. Frustration clouded Karan's mind, but he refused to give up. The next morning, he replaced the strings and tried the opposite approach. He left them loose, thinking the gentle tension would produce a soothing, softer melody. But when he played, the sound was flat, lifeless. The notes lacked clarity. The melody had no soul. Days turned into weeks, and Karan's frustration deepened. His once vibrant spirit dimmed, replaced by doubt and exhaustion. His vener, once a source of joy, now felt like a burden. In his despair, he sought wisdom beyond his village. Deep in the forest, where towering trees whispered ancient secrets and nature hummed its eternal melody, lived Rishi. His hermitage was simple, yet it exuded an air of profound serenity. The forest itself seemed to breathe in rhythm with his wisdom, as if the universe had settled there for peace. When Karan arrived, weary and disheartened, he was greeted with a warm smile from the sage. It was the kind of smile that held no judgment, only understanding. The air around the sage felt different, calm, steady, as if he carried the weight of the universe lightly on his shoulders. Without hesitation, Karan poured out his struggles. He spoke of his broken strings, his tireless pursuit of perfection. His voice cracked with desperation. The sage listened patiently, his kind eyes never wavering. He did not interrupt, nor did he offer quick words of comfort. Instead, when Karan finished, the sage reached for his own vener. With practiced hands, he began to tune it, slowly, carefully. His movements were deliberate, adjusting each string with precision, not too tight, not too loose, just enough. Then he began to play. The first note emerged, rich and resonant, weaving seamlessly into the symphony of the forest. The melody that followed was pure, serene, and deeply moving. Each note seemed to merge with the rustling leaves, the distant chirping of birds, the gentle flow of the river. Karan sat frozen, his heart captivated. For the first time in weeks, he felt a sense of peace wash over him, a calm that reached the deepest corners of his being. As the final note faded into the stillness, the sage gently placed the vener down and turned to Karan. His voice was soft, but it carried a wisdom that resonated deeply. "Do you see, my child, how the strings sing when they are tuned just right? Life, like the vener, requires balance. Strings pulled too tight will snap. Strings left too loose will fail to produce a melody. True harmony lies in finding the perfect tension, the middle path, where neither force nor neglect dominates." He paused, letting the words sink in before continuing. The Upanishads speak of this balance. They teach us the concept of yukta, moderation in all things. Life is like the vener. Push too hard and you burn out. Hold back too much and you stagnate. True joy, true music, comes only when we walk the middle path. Then, with a solemn yet uplifting tone, the sage added, "The Katha Upanishad reminds us, Suras dara nisita duratiyaya durgam patastat kavayo vadanti." The path is sharp, like the edge of a razor, difficult to tread and hard to traverse, so say the wise. This is the balance we must seek, not leaning too far to one side or the other. It is a path of care, mindfulness, and steady intention. Karan sat quietly, the sage's words ringing in his mind like the lingering notes of a perfect melody. He thought about his own life, the relentless pushing, the despair when things didn't go his way. With a newfound clarity, Karan bowed to the sage and made his way back to the village, a changed man. The burden of his old ways had lifted, replaced by a quiet confidence rooted in the wisdom he had gained. He no longer chased perfection through force or drifted into neglect. Instead, he embraced his music with patience, care, and balance. Each time he tuned his vener, he did so mindfully, not too tight, not too loose, just right. He allowed himself to rest when he felt weary and worked with passion when he was ready. Slowly but surely, his music began to transform. The melodies he played became richer, deeper, and more soulful. They carried a new energy, one that resonated not just in the ears, but in the hearts of those who listened. The villagers, who had always admired his talent, noticed the change immediately. His music was no longer just entertainment. It touched something profound within them. Each note seemed to carry a piece of the universe, connecting them to something far greater than themselves. Just as Karan discovered through his vener, life thrives on balance. Push too hard, and you will break under the strain. Let go too much, and you lose direction and purpose. But when you find that sweet spot, the middle path, you create harmony. Not just in your music, but in everything you do. And so Karan's story became a reflection of the timeless wisdom of the Upanishads. Balance is the key to a life well lived.